Hello, criminal justice enthusiasts, and welcome back to JudgeSim. I believe this will be the final video for the I Am the Law update to the game. So let's see what we have here. I mean, it looks like we have Hannibal Lecter. Yes, we do. We have Hannibal Laster. Alright. Doesn't have a criminal record yet, but he's been charged with cannibalism. In a hospital named Last Hope Medical Center, there have been cases of disappearances of corpse internal organs for 2 years. Number of missing cases has increased at regular intervals for corpses kept in the morgue and donated organs. Hannibal Laster, who worked as a doctor at the hospital, was found to have human internal organs in his vehicle under unusual police control, and an investigation was launched. During the search that has been made of Dr. Laster's home, there was internal organs such as a heart, kidney, and they misspelled a few things here. No H on heart, and I don't know what a rumen is. Found in the refrigerator. Dr. Laster is known to often invite his friends into the hospital to his home and cook visceral dishes. As a witness in this case, the defendant's co-worker, Clarice Starling, who often eats at his house, is present. The person was brought to court tied up and masked for attempting to flee several times. Clarice Starling. Yes, he would often invite us to his house and cook for us. I used to go to this invitation once a week, because he used to make really delicious food. The majority of these, of course, would be meat and viscera dishes. When we asked him which animal these organs and meat belonged to, he would usually give evasive answers and say, rhinoceros. I thought he didn't want to share his recipe. We also ate brains once, and he said it was a monkey's brain, but I remember it was a pretty big brain for a monkey. There are huge slanders out there. I know who made these slanderous moves. Bill Graham. He was jealous of my rapprochement with Clarice and removed the organs from the cadavers in the hospital and put them in my car. Then he reported me to the police. The cops weren't doing an ordinary search. It was very clear that they had stopped for a tip-off. I love cooking viscera and trying gourmet delicacies, but they don't belong to humans. Bill also came to my house and ate my viscera meals. It was very easy for him to associate the situation with cannibalism as a result of his jealousy. I'm ashamed to say it, but I once found a human heart in a freezer contained by Dr. Laster's bag. He's responsible for the organs stolen in the hospital. Moreover, he feeds them to other people. I think he fed it to me. Oh my god, started vomiting. Internal organs used inside the vehicle. Determined that it belongs to humans. That looks like a kidney. I think that's a liver. Identified as belonging to a lamb and cow. Interesting. Must have stolen 4 weeks ago. Guts and intestines 3 weeks ago. Brain 2 weeks ago. Heart a week ago. Kidney. Clarice Starling's query. Please, Miss Starling, can you tell us what meal you had at Dr. Laster's house 4 weeks ago? Can't remember, I'm sorry. How about 3 weeks ago? I couldn't accept your invitation because I was sick that week. I think he was a little offended by that. 2 weeks ago, we ate monkey brains, which I mentioned in my testimony. So at least he told us that he was a monkey. Yeah, that was stolen 3 weeks ago. I don't think it would have stayed good for that long. She had boiled kidney in the oven. It was very spicy and smelled really yummy. So that was correct, but it should have been heart that week. Receipt for the monkey brain bought from a store 2 weeks ago. I actually think he might be innocent. He bought monkey brains 2 weeks ago. The brain from the hospital was stolen 3 weeks ago. The kidney, you can get kidney at the store pretty easy. And yeah, this is identified as belonging to a lamb or a cow. So the only one that we have that's actually from a human was in his car. Why did you try to escape, Dr. Laster? Because no one believed me. You will ruin me because of a slander. Dr. Laster, Dr. Graham mentioned he found a human heart in your bag. Is that true? That's right, Your Honor. So you confess your guilt? Did I understand correctly? Of course not. On rare occasions, I would occasionally receive organs from the hospital without permission. But I wasn't using them as food. I have students, medical students. We experiment on them. We teach them. It's very beneficial for them. Why did you do it without the permission from the hospital? I've tried to get permission before, but they don't. They say that there's not enough organ donors, that they had used the organs for transplantation at the training site. What if I let them and those bodies went to the ground? So that is to the garbage. I preferred the bodies be used for training. You can't decide, Dr. Laster. I admit that I'm at fault, so you can punish me, but no one can accuse me of cannibalism. Do you understand? Please calm down, Dr. Laster. Alright, so since this is I am the law and I get to make decisions and such, I am going to find him guilty. But not of cannibalism. The evidence in this case does not present that he was a cannibal. So I'm hoping the paper won't show up afterwards here and say that he was a cannibal, because that is not my intention. My intention here is that he admitted to stealing organs, which was not what he's supposed to be doing. His reason for it is logical, because he was using them with his students. Now, as a psych student myself, I actually did get to do a procedure on a human brain for one of my classes. We had the option of using a simple monkey brain or a cow brain, or we could pay extra and they would get us human brains for the examination. We spent the extra because we wanted to do the human brain because it was so unique to get to do. So I can really respect the fact that it would be a great learning tool for the students. That being said, he did do wrong. But you know what? I'm too worried that it's going to say that, you know what? I'm going to go with not guilty, because he's not guilty of cannibalism. I would find separately, and I'm just going to say it instead of put it here. He's not guilty of cannibalism. I think that the other doctor did actually set him up. But what he was doing, he is guilty of theft. And so I would probably sentence him to community service. Most likely speaking engagements for medical students. I would probably go with 6 months. Something of that nature. So that's my ruling. He's guilty of theft, 6 months probation or community service, not guilty of cannibalism. And I fully went into the case thinking I was going to find him guilty because he's Hannibal Lecter. Okay. I just noticed that guy's eyes right away. Objection: lawsuit filed for the cancellation of the space budget to be received from the state. Hexagon Space Agency, Anti-Space Association. There is one piece of digital evidence in this case. The Hexagon Space Agency recently shared with the public the alien clues they found on Earth. The Hexagon Space Agency, which claims they can prove the existence of aliens in line with their own studies, and these clues demands an appropriation of $30 million from the state. The Anti-Space Association filed a lawsuit saying that these clues studies were fake and accused Hexagon Space Agency of deceiving the state and people. Liam Grush will represent the Space Agency and Robert O'Neill will represent the Space Opponents Association. In line with the work we have done using the knowledge gained by science and human beings for centuries, our company will submit all the necessary documents to the court. Even one of these documents is sufficient evidence for these investigations to be carried out and facts to come to light. A sum of $30 million is nothing for these studies, which we aim to take to make our beautiful country, the Banana Republic, always ahead of other countries in terms of space. The work of Hexagon Space Agency never reflects reality. There is nothing that proves both rigorously and scientifically that there is life outside of our world. The only purpose of the company is to get free money from our state. The presentation of so-called alien information to the public is made purely to gain attention and popularity. Normally I'm against anti-groups and such, but $30 million is a lot. Image claimed to be a UFO by Hexagon Space. It's not even in the center here. Huge drawing in the field located in the area where the UFO was filmed. What do you think of the documents presented? Your Honor, the documents are completely fabricated. Thanks to developing technology and artificial intelligence that can produce such fake documents, our government should not spend money on such uncertain situations. What makes you think that the documents are fake? What do you know that the image that they present as UFOs is not a drone, or that the signs found in the field are not drawn by humans? Especially the second one, I was thinking myself. We find such information without conclusive evidence to be misleading. This makes thousands of people believe in things that do not exist and alienate them from themselves and, most importantly, from their religion. They also have been able to conduct research for years without funding. Right now, they are sharing with the public purely to get attention and funding. They want to make money easily, so they don't mind deceiving our government and public. That's sort of my biggest concern is they're suddenly wanting $30 million. Yeah, I would want some actual proof of something before I'd want to fund it. Mr. Marcus, can we get your thoughts on this? Well, it'll be up to our state people to decide whether documents are forged or not. They trust us and we want to open this veil of secret. They accuse us of lying without any evidence. They want conclusive evidence from us, but we need funding for our work to reach this conclusive evidence. One of these studies will be the Space-Earth communication system that we will establish to better capture the sounds coming from space. Alright, that one didn't even add anything extra. We also had a digital piece of evidence, didn't we? Alrighty, not very impressed with that. Let me see what options I'm given in this case. Alright, yeah. If we were going to give them $30 million, then I think it should be put up to a national vote, or at least Congress voting on it. I definitely am not going to just hand out $30 million. That's not the way this country is going to work. We are a democracy after all. So yeah, I'm not going to just hand a company $30 million because they claim they'll be able to do something with it. The alien debate continues. That's perfectly fine. It can continue. They didn't get the funding from me. Alright, here should be the last case we have. Is this Breaking Bad? Yes, it is. Now that's another one. I never did watch Breaking Bad. I know enough about it to sort of have an idea overall, but I never watched it, so let's see what we do here. Jesse Pinkman, and I'm supposing this is supposed to be Walter White. Yep. No criminal record. Drug trafficking charges. Charges drug trafficking, drug production. Several important laboratory equipment was stolen from Ross Angel High School. No trace was found in the camera recordings examined. Lab materials got stolen day by day. Disturbed by the situation, the school administration notified the police after the number of stolen items increased significantly. As a result of the investigations carried out by the police, a chemistry teacher named Walter White, who was the only person who did not have any problems with the permission to enter the laboratory, became a suspect. After getting permission from the prosecutor, house of Walter White was searched. In the search conducted, it was found that the materials that were not stolen from the school but require special permits for procurement and are also used in the production of drugs. Alright, so they didn't find the stolen stuff at his house. Jesse Pinkman, a former student who was at White's home during the search, also became a suspect. Jesse's house was also searched with permission of the prosecutor's office, and some materials used to make drugs were found. White and Pinkman were subsequently arrested. I teach chemistry at Los Angeles High School. What do I have to do with drugs? I love my job, and I love to convey the fascinating world of chemistry to my students. It makes me very happy to entertain them while doing this. Naturally, I don't know the results of some experiments without trying them. That's why I prefer to try the experiments in my home beforehand. Some experiments can get out of hand and can be very dangerous for my students. I I'm also the one who has the most trouble with the materials stolen from school. I want to show my students an experiment, but the materials are either moved or I can't find the materials. It's starting to get really weird. Whoever the perpetrator is, I want him to be found immediately. I had a great bond with my former chemistry teacher, Mr. White, back in high school. We never lost touch, and even after school we kept seeing each other. A few nights a week, we'd grab some beers and sit down to talk things over. Mr. White is a really cool guy. As for what you found in my place, they're just a reflection of habits I picked up from my time with Mr. White. I have nothing to do with drugs. Thanks to Mr. White, I developed such a love for chemistry that doing experiments at home in my free time helps me escape all the stress of life. Stress is really bad, man, and none of the materials belong to the school. They're just perks from a few chemical supply companies I got to know through Mr. White. That's all. Alrighty then, let's see what we have here. Sodium metal. Phenylacetone. Is that it? Oh no. Substance found in the house of Thinkman searching. Lots of transparent bags. Phenylacetone. Mr. White, how do you get the sources that are found in your home, and why do you have them in your home? As you know, I'm a chemistry teacher, and I have very good relations with the chemical companies that produce these materials. I ask them, and they send them to me. I use them in experimentation. What is the reason you keep sodium metal and phenylacetone in your home, Mr. White? My students and I have enjoyable experiments with sodium metal. These experiments should be done carefully. That's why I test the experiments at home beforehand. Sodium is a dangerous metal, especially when it comes in contact with water. It explodes like a bomb when the fuse ignites. The cheapest and simplest method of preserving sodium metal is transparent bags. You are aware that the materials found in your home are used to make drugs. In particular, I'm curious what purpose you use the substance phenylacetone. Where's my lawyer? Sol Goodman must be around here somewhere. In the Bantam Republic, only corporations can hire lawyers if they want to, Mr. White. Unfortunately, there are not enough lawyers in our country. Let's get back to our topic. Can you explain what you use phenylacetone for? I was trying to make a drug for Jesse's lung ailments. Fortunately, there's no cure for his disease. I don't want him to die young. Is it discomfort? Don't get it. What discomfort? I wouldn't want to say this, but Jesse, it's lung cancer. I didn't know that, Mr. White. Say my name. I didn't get it. You said my name incorrectly. Mr. White, is there anything you would like to add? Where's this damn Goodman? In such cases, he should have been here. I didn't understand what he meant. Can you repeat it? I mentioned that I was worried about Jesse. Poor boy, look at him. He can't even eat. He will die of weakness soon. I would like to express my regret for your illness, Mr. Thinkman. Yo, thank you, my guy. You have a criminal record of selling drugs to your schoolmates during your school days. What would you like to say about this? At that time, Mr. White did not exist. Bad times, you know. After meeting Mr. White, I began to enjoy life. Also, many transparent bags in your house, but there is no sodium metal. How do you explain this? I just found out that I have to store my food in the freezer, and I needed these bags to put them in the freezer. That's what the guy at the grocery store said. I don't know either. Did you just find out like me? Okay. I mean, I know enough about the show to know what they do. Especially Mr. White. But we don't have evidence of it. They didn't find actual drugs. They found chemicals. And the chemicals are not illegal to own. So, I'm going to say they're not guilty. Especially him. He's got baggies in his house. That's definitely not drug sales. I mean, you can't prove it with just that. You need to find some drugs. And then with Mr. White, yeah, his statements about wanting a lawyer definitely make him seem guilty, but there's no evidence to prove it. And I'm going with actually proving things. Let's go ahead and click end of day just to see what happens next. I want a divorce. For a while, I took the children and moved to my parents' house. You are no longer the person I used to know. You have changed a lot. You had your eyes outside instead of us. I am so sad. Well, that's a really sad ending. Congratulations, you have reached the end of the free play mode we prepared for JudgeSim. In a sequel to JudgeSim, we plan to release it along with support for a mod where players can write their own cases for continued playability. Until then, hope to see you again. So they are already announcing a sequel. That's great. And I do love the fact that we can make our own cases. I will probably do that at a point. See what you guys think of the cases. Thanks for playing. Thank you for making the game. It was a lot of fun. So that's sort of exciting news at the end. Really sad that our wife wants a divorce, but I am looking forward to the sequel. I enjoyed JudgeSim a lot, and I'm looking forward to the new story mode of the sequel, and I'm looking forward to more of this I Am the Law as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this video as well. If you did, please go ahead and click that like button. If you've not already, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, so they're aware when I produce new videos in the future. Thank you, and I hope to see you back for more videos on the channel.